Welcome to Diversity Conversations, where we engage in thought-provoking dialogue to identify leadership solutions to today's most challenging conflicts. Stream live each week, Saturday 9:30 a.m. to 11 a.m. Hosted by Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Strategist and CEOs Eric Ellis and Tommie Lewis. Join us and add your voice to this engaging diversity conversation.
Good morning, Greater Cincinnati, Northern Kentucky, the United States, and the world. My name is Eric Ellis, and I'm the President and CEO of Integrity Development Corporation. And I'm joined this morning by my good friend and brother,
Tommie Lewis, President and CEO of Make It Plain Consulting. Good morning, Eric.
What up, T? What's up, man?
It's a beautiful Saturday again. In our part of the country, it's brisk. It's downright cold.
Jeez.
And we had some snow, and then the snow went away. But it's always good to be on this side of the earth, right?
That's exactly right. I tell you what, Tommie, I have had a great week. All of them are that way. If you all haven't already recognized that, we are optimists. We're excited about what we do. We're excited about life. We're excited about the opportunity community to check in with you each week. And we thank you for the support that you've provided us. Tommie, how was your week, man?
Our week has been pretty slow.
Okay.
At the end of the year, there's not a lot of business, right?
Mm-hmm.
Folks have already closed out their books or they simply pulled the parachute of working and just coasted into the holiday season.
Right.
So for me, it's time for strategizing. Put together our plans to get deeper dives with our current clients and customers. And then how do we reach out to provide more service or any service to new clients? So it's a lot of thinking. I do a lot of thinking, a lot of planning, and then I stop. Every day I stop and say, I don't have to work the extra 2, 3, 4 hours. Nope. Right. I've done all the thinking I want to do today.
Right.
And so that's it. Now, I will share with you, Eric, that over the last 2 weeks, I've been in my office and simply have not wanted to work. I just didn't want to work. So I didn't.
That's good, man.
I was in the office
and
typed in Netflix and put my Netflix code in and watched 2 movies that were 2.5 hours each.
That's excellent.
And
that's excellent.
Staff came in, we were watching the movie, whatever.
Yeah.
All right, let's do some work. Pause the movie sometime. Do some work.
It
was great.
Yeah. Now, see, community, that's what I'm talking about. Tommie just keeps it real. I love that. I did that too, Tommie.
Yeah.
I threw on a movie, man. And you're talking about 2 workers. I mean, we really be go and get it. Go get it. Get up early, go get it. And the thing is, when you can just realize sometimes that you don't have to hustle like that you can just stop and smell the roses. For me, I was in the office a few days by myself, and I love that. Tommie and I are preparing a new studio location for this next year. And I am working on that, just having a ball at being able to work with my hands. Somebody said, hold up, you painting? like I can't paint or something. Like I can't do no work at all. Ain't that nothing? I was just appalled. Really, me doing something? Oh my. Did you take any videos of it? Really? I mean, come on now.
Did you take videos of it?
Can I see some evidence of you working? Okay. So I enjoyed working, and I'm still going back to work today. I've even got me some work clothes. I don't have them on right now, but I got me some work clothes I can paint into them.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of paint on me and very little on the walls, but I had a good time. And I'm just thankful for the things that I'm working on, the people-to-people business growth model that I created, Tommie, that continues to work and show dividends. I'm also grateful, Tommie, that I get to do business coaching and business support my way too. And my way is I do something for people just because they're worth it and I don't need anything in return. So that's my natural model. But God has given me this model of if people bring business bring a name to us that turns into business, we're going to pay them either $2,500 or 5% of the contract. And I'm excited about that. And I've gotten a few people that have taken me up on that. I've also gotten some people that are networking and connecting me with others, Tommie. So I'm grateful about that. On the breakthrough model that was inspired by Tommie, our conversation in Colombia, I've continued to move forward with the $1 Trillion Stars Magnet Initiative. I've got the assessment tool created now. I've got it really outlined, and I've got a tech partner that is going to try to work with me on that. And I believe that we're going to try to pilot it with the Urban League and Cincinnati Public Schools. So I am just grateful that Tommie and I inspire each other. We are two creative, innovative brothers that realize that every day is not like that, is it, Tommie?
Not at all.
Sometimes we run thin on ideas, man, and we're looking for ideas and inspiration from other places. And sometimes that happens simply by us talking together about a problem that exists in the world. And Tommie mentioned to me a term that you've heard before, war on talent. Tommie, it was that when you said that, I said, that's exactly right.
Yeah.
There's a war on talent. So what if we were to, and I think about it like night goggles. What if we were to design an assessment process that would allow us to get visibility into underserved people groups and communities? What if we had something that could surface the talent that wouldn't ordinarily surface through other GPA test scores and things like that? And so I'm just grateful for that conversation and what this may turn into. For you all out there that are, a lot of people ponder ideas and they think for decades about something they want to do. That ain't me. I mean, as soon as I hear something, I get on it like a dog with a bone, and I stay on it until it either happens or doesn't.
Yeah, that's inspirational, Eric. And that war for talent is it's a term that's been used for several decades in different iterations. But I would say that more so today, that organizations are either business to business or business to customer, and sometimes it's business to individual. Right. And so in that model, B2B, B2C, B2I, in that model, the employees of said business are assets. Some organizations don't view them as assets.
Right. Mistake.
And some of them do. We view all employees, associates, part-time, full-time, those who are about to retire, those who are coming on board in the company for the first time in their career. We see them as talent. And to get the best out of the talent, one, the company has to remove bias.
Right. That's exactly
so
right.
When you look at things like immigration and what's happening to people who are working, those are employees that are not seen as talent.
Right.
They're just seen as possibly a problem. I don't see them like that.
Right.
I don't see immigrants. I don't see native born. I don't see old, young. I don't see any other human characteristic as a delineator of your talent. Everyone has talents and gifts. And if you're a strong, progressive company, you exploit one's talents and gifts. And once you exploit it, it becomes marketable. It becomes a hot commodity. And because of that exploitation of one's gifts and other people see it, there's a war for that talent. Right. That is, if that person is identified as talented, there's a war for that one. I'm saying, hold up now. It's not just one. Right. It's not a war for one. It's not a war for 10. The war for talent is how do we get the best out of the people that we know what they do and out of the people that we don't know what they do.
Bingo. And so for me, therein then comes the title $1 Trillion stars, because I believe that there's over $1 trillion of economic value that exists in underserved communities. And I'm so grateful that God imparts upon Tommie and I. The Bible talks about witty inventions and unique things that God can deliver to our minds. Because I believe this community that the president and many in this country have sort of canceled DEI, but the values inherent in DEI haven't gone anywhere.
Right.
And, and so then you have to begin to take the medicine that you've been given to others. So if you believe that a diversity of people, that equitable, behaviors, that inclusive practices are the better way, then make that work. And so that's what I see in this space, is that there's a whole number of communities now that people are starting to turn their back on as though it ain't in style no more. And yet they don't have all the workers and all the talent they need, Tommie, to perform the jobs, whether it's in construction trades, IT, or whatever. And so if we are the ones that still believe and are putting together new processes that enable us to go to these forgotten areas and mine that talent, Tommie, that's not just for our benefit, it's for the community's benefit, it's for the benefit of those stars that exist out there. And I see us as trying to even create some swag around this. I don't know why, Tommie, but God puts big, giant ideas in my heart that we've got to do big things. We can't just sit around and let our communities languish without trying to make a difference in a big way.
That's well said, Eric. That's well said. And that's why we have these conversations. Right. For the last 7 years, every Saturday, we come together and have diversity conversations around things that matter to us, you and I, to our community, to the nation, to the world as a whole. And so we want to continue to encourage our community to like and subscribe so that we are showing up in your thread, in your post, and you're able to share and invite other people to these diversity conversations.
Tommie, we've got some commendation that we want to, some praise that we want to add to one of our sponsors. Why don't you introduce that?
Yeah, so we just go to a promo here before we get into our topic for today. Want to thank you and invite all those who consider sponsoring the diversity conversations. We'll run one of our promos.
Helping employees transform their relationship with money. By focusing on mindset, behaviors, and simple systems, Game Time Budgeting helps people save more, reduce debt, and feel more confident about their finances without judgment or confusion. Learn more at GameTimeBudgeting.com and start playing offense with your finances.
Indeed, we'll show that again. Thank you to Al Riddick, President and CEO of Game Time Budgeting, a phenomenal organization.
Absolutely.
I just remember when Al Riddick was working for a Fortune 500 company, and he went through a program that I was facilitating for my company. It's emotional intelligence. This is north of 20 years ago.
Wow. And
in the process of those 7 or 8 weeks that the program lasted, he came to an epiphany of I'm going to leave corporate in his
I didn't know that.
very highly paid career,
Right.
and pursue his passion.
Right.
And he asked me, should he do it?
Right.
Literally.
Right.
And I said, I'm very respectful and cautious.
Right.
That if someone asks me something like this, that whatever I say, they might do.
Right.
So I'm cautious.
Right. Right.
And so he asked me, should I do it? And I basically deferred back to him. I said, if that's your passion, if you have a niche skill or talent, I will go for it. What I can do is support you by way of some of the business details, like getting certifications and things like that. I can help you with that. I don't know what he heard, but Off he went.
Yeah, right. And the rest is history.
It was literally game time.
Right. And he is, so I went to church with Al Riddick. I didn't know this story, Tommy. I'm so glad to get that piece of the puzzle. But I want to just say something again about how Tommy operates. He said when somebody comes and asks for advice, he doesn't just start talking. He recognizes that this is a weighty moment. They've asked me, and I don't think that it's actually my right to just speak and just answer it cavalierly. I say, you said to him, hey, check again if this is what you really want to do, and you gave him all those caveats, and then you let him know that you would be there as a support. I will say that Al Riddick and I served in church together. Al has this infectious laugh and smile, man, that's just precious. And it demonstrates where his heart is right there on his face. I can say that my daughter has been the benefactor of your conversation with Al Riddick, and he became my daughter's consultant around her finances. And as a young professional, she's starting off down the right road of finances because of the advice that she's gotten from Al Riddick about debt-free and all those kind of things, Tommy. So I just want to thank you for being thoughtful in the conversation. And we want to thank Al for supporting Diversity Conversation.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
We're going to start. We've got a topic that we want to bring to you today. We talked about judgment last week. We're going to wait until after the first of the year to come back to that. But Lydia, if you'll bring up our topic for today, then we'll go ahead and focus on that. And what we were thinking about is that this being sort of the holiday season, there are at least 3 holiday realities that Tommy and I wanted to sort of present to you all, and then talk about what are some of the options for you as you are going through the holidays, whether you have a young family, and especially this is true, Tommy, around people who have children and things like that. What do we do with this season? And I think that so often people botch that. The reason for the season is the birth of Jesus Christ. For those of us that are of faith, now I know a lot of people, it's just a holiday and you may not even be a Christian or a person of faith. So that, that doesn't factor in for you. But for many of us, it does. And yet that's gotten drowned out by all the noise of materialism. I know for me, Tommy, for a while now, I've hated the beast that we sort of fed around the materialistic aspect of Christmas. Now, I know there's a lot of people that can say, oh, I don't think like that, but sorry. Many of us get caught up with the commercialization of, and if you have children, they will. And so trying to navigate that is something that can be difficult. Let's go to the next slide. And this is our first point that we want to make, that there are some people who are doing well financially, and we've got some thoughts for them around what are some of the things that you could think about for Christmas. And Tommy, the first one is, you can give relationally and not transactionally. What does that mean to you when you hear the importance of giving to people that you're connected to and not for something in return?
During COVID, when we were socially distanced, I realized quickly that, family members, friends, etc., we enjoyed the proximity of one another. Mm-hmm. And we were no longer able to do that for whatever reason. Yeah. And so there was some intentional effort to get closer. Mm-hmm. And that is relational.
That's good, Tom.
So during this season, the reason that we're here is family, friends, other human beings, mm-hmm. for humanity. Mm-hmm. And so if that is, you want to volunteer time of service to those who are truly in need of the core necessities of life, mm-hmm. food, clothing, transportation in any ways like mm-hmm. that, mm-hmm. shelter. If you feel it in your heart to give,
right,
give by way of building relationships. Mm-hmm. You can go out and purchase hats and gloves,
right,
and then literally give them to the people that need them.
Right.
That's relational. It's not transactional.
Right.
The other relational is just having conversations with your loved ones or friends, picking up the phone, not necessarily sending the text, not necessarily sending the email, but picking up the phone to do two things. One, check in with them, hear their voice, feel their spirit, relational. Second is maybe take the next step, Let's grab a bite to eat.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Come over to the house, vice versa.
Yeah.
Let's meet somewhere.
Right.
And meeting not just to break bread, but we can meet to walk. We can meet to spend time. And I will listen and I will talk. Let's continue to build on the relationship.
I love those, Tommie. I remember Christmas time during COVID, and we were always socially distancing, and you couldn't introduce anybody new to your environment that wasn't in the environment. And I'll never forget seeing my oldest son come by the house and literally not come in. And Judy and I just looked at him out the window, and were just devastated by the notion of, I don't know why people that are into this vaccine, anti-vaxxers, and all these kind of things don't remember what we went through, man, when we were panicked, right? We were scared to death. We were scared to death, man. We were just, is this the end of the world? We don't know what we're up against. And so I was grateful when we got through that. The other thing that I was able to do this last week is have a conversation with my brothers, Wendell and George, about our growing up. And Tommie, we don't take a lot of opportunities to talk about what we saw, what we experienced, what we thought about that. And we had just some wonderful conversations about how we saw our growing up time similarly and differently. And so that was valuable. We also want to encourage those in our community to avoid one-day charities when longer-term support is needed. So if you're in a place where you are stronger financially, there are things that you can do for others that are beautiful. Normalize generosity without making it a spectacle. Give quietly. I know that's something that Tommie does. That's something that I do as well. I'm not looking for any fanfare at all around the things that I might try to give to others. And I've been in a position where I've had more than enough and I can share with others. And when I've not had enough, I've been in both of those situations. Model values for children by explaining why we give, not how much we give. And so I think that it's so important to if you have children, to get them in the practice of giving and not necessarily just looking to receive. So often in a commercialized society, and especially if you have means, those around you are looking to evaluate your relationship with them by the size and the worth of the gift that you give. And you literally sometimes will get talked about if you didn't give a gift that was commensurate with your income and your status. Please try to avoid those kind of games because it's not helpful for you or for anybody else. And so we say try to avoid that.
So I had a difficult conversation. Well, it wasn't difficult. I had a courageous conversation just yesterday in my home with some people that are in my home. And I just made it up in my mind because for the last 3 months, I haven't said anything. I mean, literally, I'm like a shell within my home. And so I decided to have this conversation because about a week ago, I went out and bought me a little Peanuts Charlie Brown tree.
Okay. Oh, I love that.
Right?
That's my style.
And I put that Charlie Brown tree in the place that I've had a 7 or 8 foot tree before, fully decorated, all that good stuff. I put the Charlie Brown tree there.
Exactly.
And so when I began to have the conversation with the individual I was talking with, Eric, I started with a question. He couldn't answer the question. And then I just wanted to tell him about myself, my background, right? Because we had a earlier discussion that he was telling me that he knew me. And so I decided, let me tell you about me. And first, I'm going to tell you about me by, explaining a couple of things. And he says, I see you got the little Charlie Brown tree. And I said, you're right. You know why? He's like, no. I said, you don't know why at all. So let me explain why I have that tree. My father, may he rest in peace, was a businessman. He worked very, very hard, so much so that although we had a family with a mother and a father, he was not always in the home because he was traveling a lot. Mm-hmm. He was an inventor, a scientist, and he was a shrewd person with his finances. Mm. My father made a lot of money. He had 21 U.S. patents that paid him monthly, right? Without working anymore.
Right.
But he wasn't spending money.
Right.
Not a lot. So what we had to do is we had to do what he wanted to do. He wanted to watch cartoons. Mm-hmm. Why are you watching cartoons, Pops?
Right.
He said two reasons. One, that there are no children that create the cartoons that we watch. I said, what? He said, those are all adults. Mm-hmm. Every single cartoon on television is created by adults.
Right.
He says, two, he said, for that, you have to understand that adults have the imagination for their juvenile essence still. Mm-hmm. He says, two, when I watch cartoons, I don't have to stress out. It's easy.
Yep.
It's simple.
Yep.
And so during the holiday season, our entire family was watching all of the Christmas shows.
Right.
Frosty the Snowman.
That's beautiful.
Charlie Brown, etc.
Right.
And Charlie Brown, we as a family would get popcorn that my father used to put on the stove and make popcorn. And so we would watch Charlie Brown, and Charlie Brown had this little tree that was weak. Mm-hmm. By the end of the episode, the lesson of Christmas was revealed to Charlie Brown. Mm-hmm. It was not the gift giving. Right. It was the friendships of the peanuts. That's the community. Mm-hmm. And that tree, that Charlie Brown tree, began to flourish as others were contributing to it. Wow. And so I went out and bought a Charlie Brown tree to remind me of what I did not have, what I have lost in a home that is magnificent to me. Mm-hmm. And that story is my story. And as I was sharing it with him, I said, and you knew this, right? He said, I did not know. I said, you do not know 100% about me. That's my why. That little tree is my why. That's my connection to the past, my motivation for the present, and my action to do something in the future. So if I want to connect with the family, I make decisions to have you back in my home, all that good stuff, is because I'm Charlie Brown. I'm simple, and I love everyone, and I have friends. Charlie Brown has friends, although his little tree was weak and people clowned him. Mm-hmm. That's your little tree, Charlie Brown, with the one ornament that's bending the branches. Yeah. He said, that's my tree. And then Linus wrapped his scarf around the base, and it started it. There's stories behind whys.
That's powerful, Tommie. Now, see, I was about to do Bah Humbug this Christmas. And Tommie just gave me the assignment. This is exactly what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna copy that. I'm going to do that this week on Christmas Eve. Yeah. Is I'm going to get me a little tree. I like little trees. Yeah. They don't have a lot of fanfare. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make my favorite dessert, banana pudding, and I'm going to have my children over, and we're gonna do popcorn.
Yes, sir.
And cartoon movies.
Yes, sir.
Around Christmas. And we're going to do banana pudding.
Come on, man.
I appreciate that, man, because the part of the reason for the topic is that me personally have been feeling like the Grinch. Mm-hmm. I watched the Grinch already.
Yep.
And I've been feeling like the Grinch before his heart grew times out.
He had a little heart.
Yeah. I got the little heart Grinch.
Mean to the dog.
Yeah. All that kicking things around and stuff like that. And the thing is, it's because of the fakeness, that we've put around Christmas that I've not wanted to perpetuate for a number of years. I want to do something that's meaningful and make sure that I'm doing my part, even with my adult children, to say that Christmas is about Christ and it's about that shared feeling that we have around this room that we can look around and say, I love you.
Indeed.
Let's do something fun again. Thank you for that, Tommie. I appreciate that a lot, man.
Yeah.
Let's go to the next point. And point number 2.
Create access, not dependency. Fun experiences, needs, or opportunities, etc. For those who are watching this YouTube, you can read on the screen, but this is a conversation for those who are listening on other audio platforms. But create access, and then point number 3, normalize generosity without spectacle, right? We'll go to the next point.
Yeah, that's what I was looking for. Let's go to the next slide here. There you go. Thank you there. So the second scenario we want to talk about is families with limited money and young children with big expectations. And so the first thing that you can do is redefine Santa early and gently. Santa brings one modest gift. That's an example, not everything. Parents and loved ones provide the rest. This reduces comparisons and protects parents' dignity. I remember when my father could only buy my sister an old coat for Christmas. I remember that sometimes they wrapped up hand-me-down clothes, Tommie. I remember when my brother's suit that he got from Dino's, it was a green suit that he got. I thought it was the coldest suit in the world. And my parents just put that in a box, man, and rewrapped it for me. And I'll tell you that when I pulled that suit out of the box, I was grateful to wear that lime green suit that was bought originally for my brother. And I didn't mind that because it was the best that our parents could do at that point.
Yeah, Eric, I haven't thought about this. Need to unpack it. Those with limited money. Again, I remember, and it's not that long ago. So let me be clear here. From my perspective, having limited money is sometimes relative.
Right.
In other words,
Right.
There are those who do not have finances for the bare necessities of human life.
Right.
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 And then there are those who have abundance of finances, but their lifestyle creates expenses that they are now breaking even and or in debt.
Mm-hmm.
And so, although there's access to financing,
Mm-hmm.
they're still in the hole.
Right.
And so what do I mean by that? I'm just going to share this real quick and get back to the point that I have moved away maybe 10, 15 years ago. I moved away from purchasing things that would show well to other people, right?
Mm-hmm.
And in that purchase, I am now in debt.
Right.
So I still purchase things that I like. Some of it's luxury goods and it's all good for me.
Right.
But I purchase it when I can afford it.
Right.
And it's a gift to me.
Right.
Literally.
Right. Right.
It's
right.
This is who I work for. I got
Right.
it.
Right.
So if I have limited financial resources and I may have children, what gift might I be able to give them?
Mm-hmm.
And I would say, it's not cliche. I know you've heard it before, but love and presence.
Mm-hmm.
Just being there, right? Being there. I know we have our list. It comes from some research. I'm just speaking from my heart here.
I love that.
So that's what I think about.
No, I love that, Tommie. And the thing is, I remember that. And so the reason why I added young children with expectations is because they're also living in a reality of that when they get to school after the holidays, one of the first questions that every classmate is going to ask them is for a rundown of what did you get? And then they're going to judge them and the love, perceived love that they think their families have for them based upon the quality of the gifts that they got. And the kids that got a lot of materialism, they're the ringleaders that want to be the first to ask, what did everybody get? Because they basically want to just say all the stuff that they got. And so we've got to be able to give our kids some arsenal of things to protect their esteem. Love is one of those. Probably the most important one, Tommie, is to make sure that they are loved.
Eric, real quick, that triggers something with me here on the positive piece. I remember growing up, and we had Christmas. We used to get a lot of gifts and things that I wanted by watching television. Oh, I like that. I want that. And behind closed doors, behind the scenes, my parents were taking notes. What I wanted, what I liked, and oftentimes, not all the time, but oftentimes I did get at least that one or two things I liked. That G.I. Joe with the Kung Fu grip and all that.
Right.
And I remember vividly that my parents would not allow me to take my toys outside of the house. Right. They would tell me that I could only play with these toys, particularly when school started back, because school was out during Christmas break. When school started back up, I can only play with those Christmas toys at certain periods of time during the week. And then I had more time on the weekend. So I still had to be focused. And I remember my father telling me and my sisters, don't go out there and be telling folks what you got.
Exactly, man. My parents give me the same speech.
So even to this day,
that's big.
When I have something, right? Even to this day, I don't run out into the world. Look what I bought. Look what I have. I don't. Keep it in house. Keep it. If you see me driving it, you see me driving it. If you see me wearing it, you see me wearing it. But I'm not going to go purchase it or receive it and run out and with the trumpet. No, look at me. Nope. Because I think there was a subliminal effort of my parents not to be consumed by the commercialization of the season. And really understand the reason for the season.
They're trying to bring you personally a little joy. Not maximum, not overwhelming, but a little appreciation and love during the season. The other things that we can do, community, is we can accept support without judgment. In other words, if it's a tough time for you, you've got young children, there's nothing wrong with receiving gifts from the church, from the community, from other family members. That's just a part of this beautiful expression. Don't ever find yourself in a place where you think that you're too good to receive things or for your children to receive things from others. I think that there's just a balancing act between wanting to not be focused on materialism, but also dealing with the reality of the world that we live in and the world that your children are going to have to live in when they go to school. I remember when I was really young, my parents allowed us to go out for Halloween. And then as we got a little older, my mom came to the belief that she didn't think that we should. Man, I hated that. Did you? Man, we would go to school and everybody had bags, pillowcases full of candy. And we had a speech, that we don't celebrate Halloween. And so I think you have to navigate with your children and the world that they live in. But if you don't have, I think one good gift, if you can do that, stockings with stocking stuffers, and then churches and other nonprofits oftentimes will have presents, gifts, and things like that for people when they're going through difficult time. I think that if we're not good, this is what God shared with me a couple of years ago. Eric, if you're not good at receiving help, then your giving is nothing more than pride. And so I would say all of us need to be at times in places where we don't have everything financially that we desire.
Would you say that you need help now?
Yes, I think that the answer to that question is always yes. I was raised and it was no, but I know now that the answer is always yes. It may not always be financially or materially, but it's always yes. And I am trying to become more comfortable with being open to the help of others, Tommy. Because I've just been so used to being an independent doer, and I've now had to ask for help. I was just shoveling the snow this last week, and I didn't know if I was going to get out the next day. And I'm an independent soul. My body has always been, my weapon. And so I wasn't asking nobody to do anything that I could do, so I get out there and get it. But now that I've had two surgically repaired knees, I didn't know where I was going to be. And so I had a little sideways conversation with my son, and I said some things that were probably a little off the wall. And then I went out there to prove a point to go ahead and get that snow. Now, I'm not out there trying to prove a point, but you know what I really was, Tommy? I was like, can I shovel snow?
Right.
And I got rewarded from just being able to get out there as a spite, and shovel snow, thinking, hey. Yep. Yep. And then he came out and joined and added value and helped out as well. But I was grateful that I was able to do that. But at the same time, I was even grateful that he was also there to help me, Tommy. And so your question is one that gets at the heart of who I am. And I would want to say no, but as I've continued to mature, God is showing me that it's a good thing to say yes.
Yeah, thank you, Eric, for sharing that. And I would share for me that I'm in need. As far as material or financial, I'm not as much in need right now managing things. Sure, I would love to have more. In fact, full transparency world, today, I am going to put my name in the hat and try to win $1.5 billion.
Same here. I
could use
get over it too. Right.
I don't know about anyone else. Seriously, I don't know.
Right.
I could use 1.5 billion.
Yeah, you got a lot of things you can do with that.
A lot of things I can do and help people with. So, in sincerity, if there's one thing that I really need now, I need prayer from two different perspectives. I need, and I would like to receive, and I will receive prayer from folks who have general positive prayer for someone like me in general, or for me specifically. A general positive prayer. You don't know what I need specifically, it's general. The other perspective is for those who know me and know exactly what I need in different aspects of my life. I need direct prayer to those items, right? And so one is from a business perspective, we need more business to be able to serve more people, because the people that we're working with in organizations are hurting. They're hurting. Tom. And so I want to help them. The number one asset in the business, people, that in turn will help the business, their companies, their organizations, and the communities that they serve. I need prayer to get more business to make it plain for those people. And then also personally, there's some other areas there. And so that to me will be the greatest gift. And I know without a shadow of a doubt that if this does happen, I will receive it.
Right.
It happens all the time when I say, Lord, community, I need prayer. And the prayer warriors come, Eric, and it could be next week, it could be a couple of months, it could be at the end of this year, but I feel the prayer. This opportunity I didn't even prepare for, and it happened. I'm helping people. I know it. So I'm being very selfish right now. I need prayer.
Well, I'm going to join on that one. And I'm going to say that I I like that. Thank you. You both are in our positive prayers.
Yes.
Because I'm going to jump on that too, Tommie, and say that I'm in need of your prayers as much. I am going through some personal storms right now. And I'll tell you, I have a lot of thoughts about the storms that I'm going through, Tommie. The one thought is that some days I get up, even like today, and I feel overwhelming sunshine and joy in the midst of the storm.
Yeah. And
I know the only way that that happens is because of God's presence. The other thing that I've seen is that it's almost like it's real now, you know, that the things that we do in life, the mistakes that we make in life, sometimes those mistakes have consequences, Tom. And so what I'm seeing is what can happen as a result of mistakes that is devastating in real time.
Yeah.
And what I'm grateful for is that God is present there, not to judge me, but to just help me to see that your life and the things that I'm calling you to do, when you do them the right way, they have tremendous benefits. And if you fall off the railway sometimes, there are going to be some consequences. But I'm here to forgive you and to love you. That doesn't go anywhere. And I also get a chance to stand as a witness to somebody else who's going through their storms. So last night I went to dinner with a friend, and my friend is going through tremendous storms. I could see that they've even been in a place, Tommie, where they had contemplated suicide. They said out loud that that God doesn't have a watch on. Like, why didn't God have a watch? They're like, because he's way over time for what I've been waiting on.
Wow.
And what I was able to do is to demonstrate to them what it looks like to believe in God, to have faith, and to have joy and encouragement in the midst of a storm. And they were aware of the storm that I'm going through, and to see that I'm still joyous, excited, hopeful about the future, full transparency. I recognize the pain of the moment, but it was just really a powerful time. But I think that what Tommie has asked for, I want to ask for too, because the enemy is real. He's after our joy, he's after our happiness. And we need to be able to say to other people who are believers of prayer, remember me in your prayer, because I don't want to make mistakes that negatively affect other people's lives. But the problem is, in reality, Tommie, we're always going to do that, aren't we?
Yeah.
We're not going to get it all right every time.
Yeah, that was powerful. I want to echo what some of the community is saying. That's very, very powerful, Eric. I want to invite our community, if you have time, if you have an interest, to revisit this particular episode at this moment, at this time spot. I think what you just shared in your story is what is the reason for the season. That's what it is. I know we put together these slides. I know we have these conversations. I think that ultimately, Eric, we're all trying to find some answers, right, to weather the storms that are inevitable, to weather storms that we have not asked for at all. In fact, we were on calm and cool waters.
And the storm found us.
But that is Mother Nature.
Right.
No matter where you go in the world,
if you don't want a storm,
the weather will happen.
Right.
The weather will happen. And do you have the ability to literally weather the storms? Because after every storm, there is sunshine. In fact, with every storm, the sun is always shining. For those who are like, what are you talking about?
Deep, actually. Right.
If you've ever taken a plane
Mm-hmm.
and you fly at some X of thousands of feet,
Mm-hmm.
there are oftentimes storms below, but you can be above the clouds in the atmosphere and see the sun.
Right.
It's the storm below. Folks who are below the storm are being beat up by the storm. But if you fly over, it's like, ooh, that's a storm there.
Mm-hmm.
And then as you begin to land through the storm, you go through the turbulence. The turbulence. But I was always amazed where I could be in a plane and feel the heat of the sun rays and look down, it's just a few thousand feet, and it is a raging storm.
Mm-hmm.
And I would think, man, we have to land and kind of come back to earth.
Mm-hmm.
Coming back to earth is not always bad.
Right. Right.
It's
Right.
not always
I
bad.
love that.
It is again the reason for the season. We're talking about Christmas and folks that have limited, resources and may have children. Just make it plain. Roger says, in the midst of it all, what God is. He is, therefore I am.
Mm-hmm.
He is, therefore I am.
Right.
That's
That's
where we
powerful. I like this next comment. Each and every storm brings clarity. I can tell you that
Yes,
the
it
storm
does.
that I'm going through has brought a lot of clarity, because I would say to you, community, that we live life and we don't always experience some of the downsides of decisions that we've made. But if you ever get a chance to experience the devastation of maybe even some choices that you have made, that they bring clarity, because it forces you to take a look at all the things that matter most to you. And what I'm grateful for, I promise you, I'm grateful for this, that what God has brought to me is another level of growth, another level of maturity, another level of dialing in. So my response has been to lean in closer to God, to my beliefs, to recognize that every action has an equal and opposite reaction, and to thank God for the rainbow, because as we go through storms, we also experience rainbows. And so when I get up, Tommie, I don't take joy for granted, man.
No, sir.
I am grateful that God has overwhelmed me with joy, with the love of my family, and with the optimism of a better, greater tomorrow. God has made it clear that He is not taking His hand off of me, and that the storms actually are going to give me even more time and clarity around the purpose for which I was born.
That's well said, E.
Let's go to our third point and final point, and that is people who have means but are over the commercialization of Christmas. This for me is a big one. Set personal boundaries without sort of moral superiority. Spend intentionally, not reactively. Choose fewer gifts, clearer budgets, or experience-based giving. Quiet conviction is more powerful than public critique. And so I think that's important. Tommie, you want to weigh in on that?
I would just say that, and I'm not here to give advice to people, as you all know. I can speak more about my own lived experience. Right. But I've bought one gift for one person in the last 3 weeks for the season. Mm-hmm. Right. And I didn't wait until a particular day, Christmas Day or Christmas Eve, right, to give my wife the gift. I gave it to her pretty much. I just showed it online. There was offerings there. Choose which one. Mm-hmm. Right. Got a little high quality, high price point, so choose which one within this budget.
Right.
I had to be crystal clear.
Yes, absolutely.
Right. And she chose it. We received it. She already had it. I had bought the same gift for her some 8, 9, 10 months ago.
Mm-hmm.
But she likes what she likes, and she saw it online,
Right.
which looked different in the store,
Right.
right? Because it does. It does.
Right.
When you have texture, you can feel it,
Right.
you can wrap it around,
Right.
you can do all that. And so we had 2 very expensive things.
Yeah. That's funny.
But that's what I wanted to give her.
Mm-hmm.
She selected it.
Right.
So she told me she's going to take it back, return it. And I got angry.
Right.
Right.
Like,
so what I'm trying to say is that when we end up going to the local boutique and not returning it per se, but exchanging it, got another item at the same cost. So it's an even cost.
Yeah.
Right. So I end up purchasing something different. My wife, she was not verbally disappointed in me in the moment, but later on she shared her disappointment, and she reminded me that she had had a conversation with me maybe 3 or 4 years ago that I should buy things that she wants and not buy things that I think she wants or things that I want her to want.
Right.
And I had heard it then, but I did something different this time because I allow her to pick what she wants. But I'm missing the point. All that story is I'm missing the point. So you just shared your story about learning some lessons now based on past behaviors or things done. There's consequences. I am sitting right here saying, why can't I get it? Right. And one of the answers is coming to me now is to have empathy, to put myself in the other person's shoes. And how do I do it? I put myself in their shoes. I ask them, what do you need? What do you want? Not only materialistically, but what do you need? What do you want from me? And have the will, the power to do it. So don't just say when significant other or whomever says, I need you to love me the way I need to be loved, right? Don't say, okay, sounds good. I'm going to keep loving you the way I've always been loving you because I can't do. No, pivot, change. That is the wealth that you can provide to someone else. If you have financial wealth, you also have energy wealth, the wealth of being adaptable to care for the other person in the way that they need to be cared for. And that is selflessness. So the reason for the season is to be selfless, not selfish, selfless.
Tommie, I love that. And so community, I want to slow this down every once in a while. I'll slow this down. And before we end, we're going to bring back our commercial one more time. But I want to slow down the picture frame just so that you can see what just happened. Tommie and Eric both shared with you in real time some things, some directions that we had gone that we now have questioned. I don't think that's the right direction. Pivot. And so it's rare that you will see someone who has a strong belief about something, a principle that they operate out of, pivot. And Tommie just did that right here in front of you, said, this is how I do things. This is how I think about things. And now in this moment, I've got a new thought that has come to mind. And I want to say to you that I believe that that is one of the big answers for you in this season and as you prepare to go into the next year. What practices, what behaviors, what paradigms are you stuck in that you celebrate as your independent freedom to operate in that way? Are there some of those practices that it's time for you to reconsider, should I be doing things this same way? Not somebody else having to keep telling you, but you get it in your own mind. You finally get a revelation that maybe this isn't the better way to go. I can make that change and adjustment, and it will be for the benefit of not just others, it will also be the benefit for the benefit of me. And I'm telling you, even though it's painful, some of the losses that we can sustain as a result of some of our practices, for me, getting the revelation before the sand in the hourglass has run out is, for me, one of the greatest blessings that my life will ever have, is being able to get that. Tommie, let's why don't you bring back our commercial one last time and then close us out.
So we always want to thank our sponsors, and we have another one here. Again, you've seen it earlier, but we'll bring it back up.
This episode is brought to you by Game Time Budgeting, an award-winning financial wellness firm helping employees transform their relationship with money. By focusing on mindset, behaviors, and simple systems, Game Time Budgeting helps people save more, reduce debt, and feel more confident about their finances without judgment or confusion. Learn more at GameTimeBudgeting.com and start playing offense with your finances.
Excellent. We want to encourage everyone who feels it in their heart, in their mind, to keep these conversations going. Feel free to contribute however you feel fit to do that. I enjoyed this conversation today. I hope you have the same. We want to invite you again to join us next week, same time, same channel, on Diversity Conversations. Take care now.